The Reefolution Foundation is working with local communities to restore coral reefs in order to improve and sustain biodiversity along tropical coastlines. This series of videos by the Reefolution Kenya Project will work through uncommon fish families of the Western Indian Ocean and teach you how to easily recognize them. We have grouped similar-looking fish families together and will discuss them in detail so that it will be clear how to distinguish each family. These groups are based on easily recognizable features of the fish, but do not necessarily indicate a close taxonomic relationship. The first group of fish families we will discuss is the red and big-eyed, which may seem very similar at first. The first family is the Holocentridae, which have soldierfish and squirrelfish included in it. The soldierfish are recognizable by their blunt snout, whereas squirrelfish have a sharp snout. The second family belonging to this group is the Priacanthidae, or big eyes. As the name suggests, you can recognize them by their very large eyes. Let's start looking into some more characteristics of the family Holocentridae, specifically soldierfish. You can recognize them by their blunt snout and their upright second dorsal fin. Most soldierfish are approximately 20 centimeters, with a maximum length of 35 centimeters. These are nocturnal species, meaning they will have quite large eyes, and during the day you will most likely find them hiding in the reef, caves, or under ledges. They are mainly planktivorous, meaning their diet consists largely of zooplankton, and while they can be found together, most are solitary on reefs. Their coloration is often red or combined with silver. Here are a few soldierfish species to highlight their main characteristics. This is Myriapristis vittata, showing the blunt snout and upright second dorsal fin, which are the classic soldierfish characteristics. The first dorsal fin seems to be missing, but is actually just laying flat. This species is red with a white trim on all fins and is the only red soldierfish we will talk about which doesn't have a dark opercular bar. You can also notice the dark vertical eye stripe, which helps to confuse predators. This is Myriapristis hexagona. It is also red with a distinct eye stripe, but lacks the white trim on the fins. The scales are noticeably larger in this species, and there is a dark opercular bar. The operculum on a fish is the bone which covers and protects the gills. The dark opercular bar is then just the dark stripe on the operculum. This is Myriapristis kunti. It is similar to Myriapristis vittata in that it has a white trim on all fins and a vertical eye stripe. However, this species has a prominent opercular bar which fades at the top and small scales. Next, we have Myriapristis murton. These are red with a white trim on all fins and a vertical eye stripe. It has large scales and the opercular bar is very prominent and ends with a point at the top. Myriapristis violacea is a species highlighting the silver coloration found in soldierfish. The fin tips are orange with a white trim and the opercular bar is dark red. Myriapristis adusta has a bronze sheen with broad black margins on the vertical fins. The eye is quite dark and an opercular spot is noticeable. These also have quite large scales. Lastly, we have Myriapristis burnti, which is light red and has large scales. The outer portion of the first dorsal fin is orange and it has a pointed opercular bar. Next, we are going to discuss squirrelfish, which are also in the family Holocentridae. These are recognizable by their gill spine, upright second dorsal fin, and sharper snouts than the soldierfish. Squirrelfish are around 15 centimeters in length, and you will mostly find them hiding in the reef. They feed on small invertebrates found in the reef, and similar to soldierfish, they are solitary and are often red or silver. The first squirrelfish species we will look into is Neonephon samara. You can see that it has a sharp snout, large eyes, and upright second dorsal fin. A gill spine is present, though not clearly visible for this species. They are silver with thin horizontal lines and a dark red spot on the first dorsal fin. Next, we have Sargocentron diadema. Note the sharp snout, large eyes, and the red and silver coloration. The first dorsal fin is mostly dark red, with white tips and a white band through it. The ventral fins are also white-tipped. Here is Sargocentron caudimaculatum. Besides the sharp snout and large eyes, you will notice the rear of the body is silvery with a white spot on the upper tail base. Next is Sargocentron violaceum. This species is recognizable by the large scales and violet tint with light blue scale edges. Lastly, we have Sargocentron spiniferum. The name spiniferum refers to the large, visible gill spine. This is the largest squirrelfish species and is identified by its large silver and red scales and yellow fins. The last family in this group are the Priacanthidae, or big eyes. As the name suggests, they are recognizable by their very large eyes. They also have large upwards-facing mouths, small scales, and a continuous dorsal fin. Growing to approximately 30 centimeters long, they are found on the reef by day and migrate away from the reef at night to feed on zooplankton. They can be found both solitary and in shoals. Red and silver colors dominate within this family. They are usually red by day and blotched or silvery at night. Here are a few examples of big eyes to highlight their main characteristics. This is Heteropriacanthus cruentatus. Pictured is the nighttime coloration for this species. During the day, it becomes pure red. Next, we have Priacanthus hamhur, with silver coloration, red eyes, and a faint vertical eye stripe. Lastly, this is Priacanthus blotchy. Again, we see the red coloration, big eyes, and a superior mouth. This is very similar looking to Heteropriacanthus cruentatus as it is pure red during the day. However, Priacanthus blotchy here has larger eyes. Quiz time! We have a small overview to test your knowledge of the families within the red and big eyes group. Which fish belong to the Holocentridae and which belong to the Priacanthidae? Remember that both soldierfish and squirrelfish are Holocentridae. Pause the video to see how you do. Ready? Here are a few tips for getting these correct. Remember that Priacanthidae are recognizable by their singular dorsal fin and upwards-facing mouth. Holocentridae, which include both soldierfish and squirrelfish, have the upright second dorsal fin. Now can you do the species? Pause the video and see if you can get these 8 species correct. Ready? Here are some tips on getting these correct. For the first two, Myriopristis violacea and Sargocentron violaceum, the first is a soldierfish and the second is a squirrelfish. Myriopristis murdhan and Myriopristis kunti are two very similar looking soldierfish species. The two main differences is that Myriopristis murdhan has larger scales and a pointed opercular bar, whereas Myriopristis kunti has smaller scales and an opercular bar that is faded. Thanks for watching. Check out the next video to continue your fish identification.